Shalom Aleichem, Mishpachim. I am going to read a section of my Sefer Chayenu with some of Rabbi Levi Yitzchok's teachings. All right. Levi Yitzchok, the teachings of Rabbi Levi Yitzchok Schneerson, father of the Lubavitcher Rabbi, were discovered on the margins of his Sefarim, which he had while in exile in Kazakhstan. They reveal incredible depth and breadth of Kabbalistic knowledge and interconnect the revealed and esoteric realms of Torah. They were published as Likutei Toras Levi Yitzchok. If you want to learn more about this, visit Chayenu, CHAYENU.org/LLY. The title of this teaching from Rabbi Levi Yitzchok Schneerson is titled Poor Little Rich Woman. Yosef gathered all of the money, literally silver, and Yosef brought the money to Paro's house. And I have made you poor, said Mar Zutra. This teaches us that even a poor person who himself is supported by tzedakah, charity, should give tzedakah. I will no longer make you poor, said Rav Yosef. If one does so, he will no longer be shown signs of poverty. Driving statements. The names of the two sages in this teaching are related to its content. Rav Yosef's statement relates to his namesake's financial activities. The relationship between husband and wife reflects the interplay of the intellectual and emotional faculties that make up the human creative process, which serves as an analog for the divine one. The mental development of an idea is followed by the urge, called chesed, benevolence, to pour it out to another without reservation. Then a countervailing impulse, gevura, severity, to hold it back and dispense it in smaller doses, if at all, and so forth. Eventually, one reaches the stage of bonding with the other, putting oneself in their shoes to see how they will receive this bounty. That point is called yesod, foundation. Up to this point, then, the entire development of the idea and of how to give it over has been entirely within the giver, mashpia in Hasidic jargon, himself. And the 6 primary emotions that make up this stage are collectively called za, and are seen as the masculine principle. Finally comes the culminating step, malchus, which is kingship, speech and action, where everything that was developed in za is actually transmitted to the other and finds its practical application. It is thus the quality of the feminine who brings to fruition what masculine za provides to her, both biologically and economically. From God's point of view, there is nothing other than him. So for there to be an other to whom to relate via malchus means that he had to condense his limitless energy to make possible a world of finite creatures who, from their point of view, perceive their own existence, and may even devolve into believing themselves altogether independent of him. This condensation, known as tzimtzum in Kabbalistic terminology, is a facet of the divine attribute of gevura, as above, the impulse to hold back. It can thus be said that malchus is built up out of gevura. Now, in the entire description above, malchus is the quintessential recipient, mekabel, smaller than her mashpia, poor, and bereft of anything other than what she receives. But after all, as a mother births the next generation, as the woman of valor is praised for giving food to her household and stretching forth her hand to the needy, she also steps into the role of the provider, recapitulating within herself the entire process of giving over to the next person, ad infinitum. Thus is it, too, with the transition from one spiritual world to the next, from Atzilus, which is nearness, a world pervaded with visible divine energy to the exclusion of all else, to Beria, creation, and then to subsequent worlds. In each of them, Malchus is the seedbed, containing it in potential everything that unfolds in the next one. In the narrative of our Parsha, Yosef is the embodiment of Yesod, and the royal house of Paro is Malchus, not only considering the literal meaning of Malchus as kingship, but also because in Torah literature, house and wife are metonyms. Into there, he brings silver, a Hebrew word also meaning desire, and thus symbolizing the love that is at the root of chesed, where Zah begins. In short, then, in the economic realm, Paro and his empire gained untold wealth from Yosef's fiscal policies, that being merely an echo of how Yosef enriched Malchus and brought forth her mashpia potential. The two Talmudic sages in the above passage, too, represent Malchus and Yesod, respectively. The Talmudic title, Mar, is Aramaic for master, but in Hebrew it means bitter, that being another facet of the asperity of Gevurah. Zutra is the Aramaic word for small, so Mar Zutra's title and name can be reanalyzed as bitter small, little Malchus, constructed on a platform of acerbic Gevurah. He therefore is the one to state that even poor Malchus, Mekabel, of charity from higher up, must also be a mashpia and give to others. Rav Yosef, like his namesake, an exemplar of Yesod, then chimes in and observes that in that case Malchus need not remain in her poor state, and indeed can be so enriched by Yesod that she no longer evinces even signs of poverty. And that is the portion from Rabbi Levi Yitzchok Schneerson's teachings. Have a wonderful night. Laila Tov and Shavua Tov.